about his story. So this is his next level. So from Rishabh's teachings and his life, there are very nice instructions how not to enjoy this material world. That's what Rishabdev is instructing. If you see the third canto's theme is this material world is not the place for we should live a dharmic life. We should not just live a very materialistic life. When it comes to fourth canto, even dharmic life is also not very appreciated. And yeah, I just recorded. It's recording on cloud, then we'll upload it later. So the point is, second is that even a dharmic life is not recommended in the fourth canto. Now, when it comes to fifth canto, it is told that we should not enjoy the purpose of life should be for spirituality. That is actually the theme of fifth canto. If you see, Rishabdev is teaching, Are tapo divyam putrakayana sattum shuddhe desmat brahma saukyam. So work for brahma saukyam, don't do kashtan kaman arhate vidbjame. That is also available for the hogs and dogs, that type of pleasure. Now, here we have seen Rishabdev giving that instructions, and of course, from Priyavrat Maharaj only it started. He was not interested, and then he was told to take up the responsibility as a devotional service, because without responsibility, we will not be able to grow in our spiritual life. What happens is our mind becomes purified. That was our topic of discussion last time. We will come back to again how the consciousness grows. Then Rishabdev, he then comes Agnidara, then Nabhi performed yajna, and the priests are very feeling guilty that we call Lord for some petty things. We are supposed to ask something else, but for getting a son we are asking the Lord. And then Rishabdev is born. He performed his activities, and now it is the time for Bharat Maharaj. So here, very uh, important understanding that Bharat Maharaj, he was ruling very affectionately. He performed all the yajnas properly, and then understanding everything as limb of the Supreme Lord, and he enjoyed the kingdom for 10,000 years, and then he gave it to his sons. Later on, he went to Gandaki river where he started worshipping the Lord, and then in this way his heart became ecstatic, melted, and he was completely detached from all the external things and worshipping Surya Narayana, the form of the Lord in the sun god, and he offered this wonderful prayers. He is offering the prayers for the Lord, what is the nature of the Lord, function of Lord, actions of the Lord, and the petition he is making. And the perfection is not found in the acquisition of a kingdom, but in the ability to renounce it for the service of the Lord. So that is the main purpose of life, that is understood. So now we will further try to understand this. So the next theme, we will go next chapter. So this is a very nice chapter here. So now we will see further activities of Bharat. Sukadeva Goswami continued, My dear king, one day after finishing his morning duties, evacuating, urinating, and bathing, Maharaj Bharata sat down on the bank of river Gandaki for a few minutes and began chanting his mantra beginning with Omkar. And this is what he is doing. So Omkar, what is the meaning of Omkar? Basically, Omkar is to accept the will of Lord. So that is Omkar. So our mind is disturbed or contaminated or distorted because we are not able to accept the will of Lord. So when a person is chanting Omkar, basically he is telling the Lord, okay Lord, I am fine. Whatever you feel, let though will be done, not mine. So that is the main meaning. So all the Vedic mantras starts with this. So one of the meaning of Omkar is to say yes to Lord's desire. That means to be in harmony with nature. Harmony with nature means accepting the will of Lord. So he started with Omkar. So this is even Hare Krishna Mahamantra is also accepting the will of Lord. So then this is walking while Maharaj Bharat was sitting on the bank of a river. A doe, being very thirsty, came there to drink. So now this, the mistake which is done, that is very elaborately given. So we may feel, Array, such a great person, and the whole tract of land is named after him, and he committed a mistake. And why that should be so much highlighted? Of all the good things he did, you are telling one mistake which he did, because that is going to give a great lesson for all of us. And after that, how he what instructions he gave as Jada Bharata, that is also very important. So that's why this story is given. What mistake it can be possible at this stage of devotion. Of course, in Laghu Bhagavatam, it is very clearly said that it is Lord's arrangement. So Bharat Maharaj, to do this mistake is Lord's arrangement to teach the living entities an example. So Lord utilizes his own devotees to show the world how dangerous it is to meditate on something which is not Krishna, like that. So here one theme I wanted to talk is okay, we will just go with some of the translation then come. While Doe was drinking with great satisfaction, a lion, which was very close, roared very loudly. This was a fright. This was frightful to every living entity, and it was heard by the doe. So this is setting the scene. What is exactly happening there? And by nature, the doe was always afraid of being killed by others, and it was always looking about suspiciously. When it heard lion's tumultuous roar, it became very agitated, looking here and there by disturbed eyes. The doe, although it had not fully satisfied itself by drinking water, suddenly lapped over the river. So it could have happened before or after, but it happened just in front of Bharat Maharaj. The doe was pregnant, and when it jumped out of here, the baby deer fell from its mother's womb into the flowing water of the river. There is every chance of woman's having a miscarriage if she experiences some ecstatic emotions or is frightened. Pregnant women should therefore be spared from all external influences. Prabhupada is giving some very practical knowledge here. And being separated from its flock and distressed by its miscarriage, the black doe, having crossed the river, was very much distressed. Indeed, it fell down in a cave and died immediately. So that was the scenario that happened, and that too in front of Bharata Maharaj. The great king Bharata, while sitting on the bank of a river, saw the small deer, bereft of its mother, floating down the river. Seeing this, he felt great compassion. Like a sincere friend, he lifted the infant deer from the waves, and knowing it to be motherless, brought it to his ashram. The laws of nature work in a subtle ways unknown to us. Maharaj Bharat was a very advanced in devotional service. He has almost reached the point of loving service to the Supreme Lord, but even from that platform he could fall down into the material platform. In Bhagavad Gita there is therefore warned, Yamhina vetantyeta purusham purushashaba samadukka sukadhiram somratuttaya kalpate. The person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress is study in both is certainly eligible for liberation, because he is able to see the difference from the soul and the body. So we have many times discussed suffering is because of identification only. So for a saintly person, he is self-realized person, he can see the distinction. But what he sees, he also can see the pain of living entities, and he also empathizes. But he don't want to give materially benefit, he want to give them spiritual benefit. So that is the main difference, because he understands the importance. He understands that how soul should be liberated, and the cause for it is the identification it is having. The stronger we identify, the more painful we will be. So that is very simple. And spiritual salvation and liberation from material bondage must be worked out with great caution. Otherwise, a little discrepancy will cause one to fall down again into material existence. By studying the activities of Maharaj Bharata, we can learn the art of becoming completely free from all material attachment. As it will be revealed in later verses, Bharat Maharaj has to accept the body of a deer due to being overly compassionate to its infant deer. We should be compassionate by raising one from the material platform to the spiritual platform. Otherwise, at any moment, our spiritual advancement may be spoiled and we may fall down into the material platform. Maharaj Bharata's compassion for the deer was beginning of his fall down into material world. So even material compassion also is a danger. That's why philanthropic activities, why it is so much condemned, because it is material compassion. Still we have to show something, like we distribute food, we distribute sometimes in some calamities and all, devotees they go and they try to do some charitable activities. But the main thing is, when Prabhupada was asked by reporters, Swamiji, what are you doing for poor people? No, you are only giving this spreading in America, here, there. So this was asked in Gujarat somewhere, this reporters. So Prabhupada said, according to us, everybody is poor. Who is not having Krishna, they are poor. That is actually the vision of a devotee. He can see that poverty and pain, not just the external. He see that poverty and pain is because they don't have Krishna in their life. So no matter how many things we have, if Krishna is not there, it won't be satisfying the heart. That they can understand. So for them, the richest of the person, the very top, very elite people with so much opulence and all, for them they are also very poor only, because Krishna is not there. So here Prabhupada is able to see, and that is the compassion Prabhupada has. He just don't want to give something material, he want to really help the soul. So you are seeing the difference. So that's what Prabhupada is telling. Gradually Maharaj Bharata became very affectionate towards the deer. He began to raise it and maintain it by giving it grass. He was always careful to protect it from attack of tigers and other animals. When it itched, he petted it, and in this way he always tried to keep it in a comfortable condition. He sometimes kissed it out of love. Being attached to raising the deer, Maharaj Bharata forgot the rules and regulations of advancement of spiritual life, and he gradually forgot to worship the Supreme Lord. After a few days, he forgot everything about his spiritual advancement. Now it looks like a very silly thing, He is able to give up such a big kingdom, wife, children. I know children, they are born through him only. And they must be having grandchildren also. So he will be attached to, if he is really a person who gets attached like this, he would have attached to his own sons, grandsons, wife, and in his kingdom there are so many subjects, so many things are there. But interestingly, it happens. So for this, we can understand how we have to be very cautious in executing our spiritual duties by observing the rules and regulations and regularly chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. If we neglect doing this, we will eventually fall down. We may rise early in the morning, bathe, attend Mangalarti, worship the deities, chant Hare Krishna Mantra, study Vedic literature, and follow all the rules prescribed with acharyas and spiritual master. If you deviate from this process, we may fall down, even though we may be very highly advanced. This is actually the point. It is not that they are not elevated, they are already advanced, still they can fall down. That means people who are they have experienced something higher also than what we have experienced. Like we see some very senior devotees in our movement, they left after some time. Now they dedicated so much for Prabhupada, and then they really experience also something high because they have done such. They got some more realization than us. Eventually they'll come back. But when they come back, they will continue from where they left. So that is a very highly advanced position only than what we are. Like say somebody failed in his college, he failed. So we may think, "Arey, fail, he failed." But I am in a kindergarten only. So even if I pass, I am passing my kindergarten, but he is failing his college graduation. So there is a difference. We should not like Lord Shiva. He is running behind Mohini Murti, or Brahma is running behind Vak. No, we have to know that even such great personalities, when they come back, they will continue. So now if he is continuing, he will continue from his engineering. He will not come to kindergarten, right? So that means even some very highly advanced people, that's what it is said. So advanced people, if they do mistake, when they come back, they will continue from where they left. They will not come to our level. So we should not deride them. We should know, okay, that is something between them and Krishna. We may not take their association. That should be very clear. Because now they are not in a good standing, we don't associate with them. But once they come again back and then they are doing, then we appreciate. Yeah, they got that realization, that dedication. Some people were even big sannyasis and gurus also. That means they are able to experience something, and they are able to lead so much. They did so much for Prabhupada mission. They definitely will get realization. It will not that all the service they did for Prabhupada will become useless. It will not happen. Prabhupada will definitely remember their service, and Krishna will also remember their service. Only thing is, their mistake, they will have to pay for it. And that is between them and Krishna, how they will pay after some time, because anyway they want to enjoy in this material world. So what is happening is Avarnatmika Shakti, for some time they are getting covered by the illusory energy, and one fine day Krishna will remove that covering, finish. So yajna dana tap karma na tejyat karyam eva tat yajnodana patapaschaiva pavanani manishna. Acts of sacrifice, charity and penances are not to be given up, but should be performed indeed. Sacrifice, charity and penance purify even the great souls. And Prabhupada is writing, even if one is in the renounced order, he should never give up the regulative principles. He should worship the deity and give his time and life to the service of Krishna. He should also continue following the rules and regulations of austerity and penance. These things cannot be given up. One should not think oneself very advanced simply because one has accepted the sannyas order. The activities of Bharat Maharaj should be carefully studied for one's spiritual advancement. You see, very systematically these stories are given. So Rishabdev's teaching are for sannyasis. So what renunciation, what he should do. And then his son Bharat Maharaj's teachings are, even in the renounced order also you should be very careful, otherwise you may fall down. So if you see how systematically Bhagavatam is taking one, from third canto to fourth canto, and then in the fifth canto the instructions are given for sannyasis, like Rishabdev's instructions. That is the standard. And then when his son is coming, he said, "Arey, I am in the renounced. I did follow everything what my father said, but I made a mistake." And then now he became very emotional to the deer also. Now what all he says, you see. The great king Maharaj Bharata began to think, alas, this helpless young deer, by the force of time, an agent of Supreme Lord, has now lost its relatives and friends and has taken shelter of me. It does not know anyone but me, as I have become its father and mother, brother and relatives. This deer is thinking in this way, and it has full faith in me. It does not know anyone but me. Therefore, I should not be envious and think that for the deer my own welfare will be destroyed. I should certainly rise, protect, gratify and fondle it. When it has taken shelter with me, how can I neglect it? Even though the deer is disturbing my spiritual life, I realize that a helpless person who has taken shelter cannot be neglected. That would be a great fault. So, this is a very important thing to understand, that when a person becomes emotional, he loses intelligence and he will justify what he is doing also. That is another problem. And he is thinking, oh, I should be compassionate, I can. This is actually what happens in family life. People, they start justifying their, complacency in spiritual life. And second thing is, then they want to, now he could have used his intelligence and he could have left with another deers, and then it will follow the other deers and it would have happily left. But because he became attached, now he wanted to take care and he need a justification. And mind is so cunning, it will give justification for anything we want to do. And the same thing is happening here. Bharata Maharaj is getting a full justification of and it looks like very very true also. And normal people will definitely appreciate this idea. Wow, so selfless. He's sacrificing everything. And even his spiritual life also is sacrificing and doing. It looks like some very a philanthropic act. Now Prabhupada is going to very nicely condemn. He says, when a person is advanced in spiritual consciousness, he naturally becomes very sympathetic towards all living entities suffering in this world. Naturally, such an advanced person thinks of suffering of people in general. However, if one does not know the material suffering of fallen souls and becomes sympathetic because of bodily comfort, as in the case of Bharat Maharaj, such sympathy or compassion is the cause of one's downfall. So it is in a very emotional state. So he lost buddhi. And we can see this very, we should not show material, we have to have material compassion, not that when people are suffering, like wars are happening in across the world and so many people are suffering, we should also feel sympathetic, we should not be very hard-hearted. But we also know that the cause of war is because people are eating non-veg, Prabhupada said. They are killing cows and eating. And definitely they have to pay for it. And not one. The whole country and the whole world is paying for the sin that is committed by everyone now. And people don't mind. They say, you have the freedom. For freedom for what? Do whatever you want. I want to eat killing animals also, you have your freedom. You can do it. So this type of what to say, materialistic mindset is cause of all the wars. It may look that somebody else egos are clashing, that's why they are fighting. It is not just ego clashing, it is the sin of all the people. It's a collective sin that is giving problem to the society. And everybody is in anxiety. What will happen to the prices of oil, and then inflation will rise, this, that. This is all because people want to do sense gratification. Now, how much alcohol people are consuming every day? There is a cricket match that is happening, and if India wins, they consume alcohol. India loses, also they consume alcohol. One is out of happiness and one is out of distress, but they consume. And how much they eat non-veg, and how much they, it's all very, very dangerous. And people are thinking, oh, it's normal. And because you are thinking normal, wars will happen. Prophet said, you eat non-veg, the war will come. And the bombs may not be falling on us, but the effect is falling on us, which is also equally painful. So anyway, we because devotees are chanting, Krishna will protect. But for whole society, it is in trouble. If one is actually sympathetic to fallen, suffering humanity, he should try to elevate people from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness. So this is our service. What service we are doing to societies? This is the service. We are trying to elevate the consciousness. As far as deer was concerned, Bharat Maharaj became very sympathetic, but he forgot that it was impossible for him to elevate a deer to spiritual consciousness, because after all, a deer is but an animal. It was very dangerous for Bharat Maharaj to sacrifice all his regulative principles simply to take care of an animal. The principles initiated in Bhagavad Gita should be followed. Yamhina Vatyanteta Purusham Purushashabha. As far as the material body is concerned, we cannot do anything for anyone. However, by the grace of Krishna, we may raise a person to spiritual consciousness if we ourselves follow the rules and regulations. If you give up our spiritual activity and simply become concerned with the bodily comforts of others, we will fall into a dangerous position. This is for especially who are in the family life. They should be very careful. If they are serious about spiritual life, this is a very nice instruction for them. So we may raise a person to spiritual consciousness if we ourselves follow. If we give up our own spiritual activity, simply become concerned with bodily comforts of others, means here family members, we will fall into a dangerous position. So we have to do whatever is the minimum for our family requirement. After that, we just have to be free. We cannot just go on giving comforts to the family. Even though one is in the renounced order, one who is advanced certainly feels compassion for suffering living entity. One should certainly neglect his own personal interest, although they may be very important, to protect one from one who has surrendered. So this is here our protection is spiritual protection. For that, I need to be spiritually strong. Then only I can help others. Maya is very strong. In this name of philanthropy, altruism and communism, people are feeling compassion for suffering humanity throughout the world. Philanthropists and altruists do not realize that it is impossible to improve people's material conditions. Material conditions are already established by the superior administration according to one's karma. They cannot be changed. The only benefit we can render to suffering beings is to try to raise them to spiritual consciousness. Material comforts cannot be increased or decreased. It is therefore said in Bhagavatam, Tan labhyate dukkhavat anyatas sukham. As far as material happiness is concerned, that comes without effort, just as tribulation comes without effort. Material happiness and pain can be attained without endeavor. This is one of the most important thing to understand. Very difficult to understand also, but we have to understand that without endeavor only pain and pleasure comes. We may think, if we don't work hard, how can we be happy? But how to understand these two statements? No, You work hard, then you will be happy, and then material happiness or comes without endeavor. With endeavor we get happiness, but here it is said. So we have to make endeavor. Work hard. So to be happy. Now, how to understand these both statements? When it is said you have to work hard. So what happens is this hard work and performing duty, this is actually making us this happiness is different and this happiness is different in the sense that means doing our dharma. So person is performing his dharma. So this happiness will be in mode of goodness because he is experiencing something, peace in his heart. So peaceful life in heart. And when he is experiencing material pleasure, that will be, this is in goodness. And this material pleasure, of course both are material, but here it is in passion more. And goodness also, but I will explain. Say now we tell that this is, material world is dukkhalaya shashvatam. So we all preach, we all tell dukkhalaya shashvatam. But people say there is happiness also in this world. Then what is this? Whether Krishna is telling right or wrong in Bhagavad Gita. If he is telling that this is dukkhalaya shashvatam, from where the pleasure is coming? That should be the question. So the answer for it is that the pleasure, very important, please understand this important concept. See, the pleasure in this world is mercy of Lord. Pleasure is mercy of Lord. So even though in this Dukkhalayam, Lord is giving pleasure out of his causeless mercy. So any pleasure we get, immediately we should know it is mercy of Lord I am getting. So pleasure is in two categories. Pleasure in passion, pleasure in goodness. So now if we are getting some success or some things like say cricket match, India is winning because it happened yesterday. I was in the temple, I was giving our Sunday feast class, and so many Prabhujis and Matajis came, that is evening 7. So I was like, one time His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj was giving class, and then he saw very long back, whole satsang was all Matajis only. 90% Matajis and only 10% Prabhujis. Then Maharaj asked, where are your husbands? They said, Maharaj, today is cricket match, India cricket match. All the Prabhujis are in the cricket match. At the end of the class, when Kirtan started, all the Prabhujis came. By the time match ended and India became victorious, and then they started celebrating in the Kirtan by dancing. So then I was telling that you are very fortunate. You are coming to temple instead of sitting in front of TV. Now the point here is there is pleasure in two levels. One pleasure is in passion. So this is a very nice concept. Please try to understand. It will helpful for us. So first is pleasure is mercy of Lord, and He is giving in two levels. One is in passion and one is in goodness. This is a nice concept. See, pleasure and passion, it is in result. Success and profit and all other gains. So now say if India wins and people are very happy, but what is another thing, after a few days it will become normal and again they want success, again they want India to win. And again after some time it will last for few days, maybe for few hours for some people, for few days for some people, and again they want to repeat it. That is the pleasure in passion. Even that is also given by Lord only. Not that because I work very hard I am getting. You work very hard, Lord showed compassion and He gave it. That's why we tell two fingers in the Damodar Leela. One is our endeavor, one is Lord's mercy. Any time success, pleasure is Lord's mercy only. Please be clear with this. Any pleasure we are getting, any success we are getting, we may make endeavor, but whether to give or not is in Lord's hand. That means results are not in our hand. It is mercy of Lord. You all agree? So, this is all mercy only, the results. Some may be working like, we all have this experience. I studied only say 30% of my book syllabus for exam, and interestingly 80% of the questions came from that 30% which I studied, so I got 80 marks. But I studied only 30, but I got 30%, I got 80 marks. And somebody might have studied 80%, and but most of the questions came from the remaining 20% which he didn't study. And he may end up in getting some 40, and you are getting 80 and he is getting 40. So the point is that it is not in his hand what will come, because outcome is not in our hand completely. No, you may be working very hard. Not that the team which is getting defeated, they lost the match. Not that they are not working hard, because Lord didn't want it that for them. That's all. Whenever Lord decides, He will give. He will give for somebody small also a very big thing, and somebody very big person He may give. He may not give anything. So it all matters with the. It's all passion. So, sir, in the pleasure in passion, and it's all Lord's mercy. Any success, and people after doing something they will understand, and it is not in my hand. Like a person is very skilled, still he will not be able to do anything if Lord does not show him mercy. We should be clear about it. That is the reason we should not force our children or anybody for result. We should force them for doing their hard work. That's all. Result is not in the children's hand and anybody's hand. Only hard work is there in their hand. Hard work is what? When you enjoy, then hard work, here it is duty, and pleasure in duty. So here you get some pleasure. So I gave the example that, okay, like say I am giving class, and now a few 10 people are sitting, or 200 people are sitting. For me the pleasure is same if I think the class is as a duty I do. For the service of the Lord I am doing, I will feel the same pleasure if there are 10 people or if there are 200 people. You are understanding the difference, because my purpose, my motivation is duty. Oh, minimum 1000 should be there. If I am giving class, 1000 people should sit. I am interested in result, then it is passion. So it is also Lord's mercy only. So we have to do duty, and results are in Lord's hand. So there are two things. Enjoy your duty, enjoy your hard work. That's all. Result, it will come, not come. So what is happening is, and both are mercy of Lord only. Lord is giving us certain duties to perform, and He gives some pleasure when we are doing it, and that He wants us to enjoy. So even in Dukhalayam also, Lord is providing some pleasure. He is making us experience something. Because now we may ask the question, Arey, what is this logic? Why Lord has to create something Dukhalayam? This is also a very important thing to understand. I will share some notes for you. It will be helpful to understand this concept. So what is the purpose of Lord in making this world into Dukhalayam? So what exactly Lord want to teach us? So This is a very nice concept. You'll all like it too. So this world is not made for our happiness. This is, and that is mercy. So we should understand this concept. God did not create this world as an entertainment park for our comfort and pleasure. This is a school designed to prepare us for something higher, to correct our selfishness and limitation, to develop our souls. So here the trials are a form of trust. God only sends what we can ultimately bear. So there is a famous saying of Mother Teresa. She says that, Lord, I know you never send tests that cannot be endured, but sometimes I wish you trusted me a little less. Such a nice thing. Here, Lord will not send, does not give exams out of syllabus, which are in syllabus only. But sometimes it becomes too much for us. So he says, I wish you trusted me little less. I will not pass this exam. What does it means to pass the exam? That we continue to have faith in the Lord. So why Lord created? You see, this is a very important thing. The Saturn planet in our astrology that moves to each houses, systematically dismantling our health, finance, relationships, comforts, children, family, over and over in every life. And interestingly, it is there in everybody's horoscope. We cannot avoid Shani only. But why did Lord do this? It is not cruelty. It is a systematic removal of false source of security to reveal the one true source. We are depending on all these things. Lord is telling, don't depend on all these things. Atma Jaya, Sutagara, Pashu, Dravina, Bandhushu. All these things which are going to anyway go. Better you depend on me. So that is the Lord's desire. He's telling, why are you depending on this? It is not going to satisfy your heart. And we unnecessarily get stuck up there. So Lord has to remove it to give something higher. If He does not make this world temporary, and He gives things, and we are caught up with this, some very petty things, and we hold on to it life after life. Of course, if we have one life, then we are just holding on to petty things. So Lord has to make it temporary so that we awaken and we give it up and take something higher. So otherwise a child is not growing, he's small and he's playing with the toys. Parents will also be very upset when this child will grow in his consciousness, and so that he will be able to do something higher in life. If child is very small all the time and is always playing with toys, parents won't feel happy. Say no, they should grow and get something higher in life. He should enjoy life in a better way. It is not wrong on parents' side to think like that my child should enjoy something higher. Then if it's not wrong with parents, why it is wrong with Lord? Lord also wants that the living entities enjoy something higher in life. You are understanding? So this is the point. So that's why Lord made this world temporary, so that we give up these things. So it's a systematic removal of four souls of security. And then knowing this, the correct response is not to scramble for astrological remedies, but to build inner resilience through prayers. So when people go through trials, if they pass in the sense they are continuing to have faith in the Lord, even in the trials also, then they emerge softer, kinder, cleaner and wiser. And when they fail in the trial, that means they lose their faith on Lord, they become bitter, harder and more resentful, like that. So the test is passed when we become better as a result of it. The test is failed when we become angrier and more closed. You are understanding? So prayer is the mechanism by which trials are digested rather than accumulated as further karma. So here what happens, we will not take this part. So yeah, this is a very interesting thing, but I want to complete syllabus. Actually, for 1 week I am going to Vrindavan, so I will not be able to take classes from tomorrow. I will see if in between possible. I will again try, but at least three uh, till 13th I will not be able to take. So almost this week, whole week. So that's why I want to complete some syllabus. Maybe we can take the topic later in other, when it will come some, every time these things will come, so we can continue that. So one should not bother for material activities. If one is at all sympathetic or able to do good to others, he should endeavor to raise people to Krishna consciousness. In this way, everyone advances spiritually by the grace of Lord. For our instructions, Bharat Maharaj acted in such a way that we should be very careful not to be misled by so-called welfare activities connected in bodily terms. One should not give up his interest in attaining the favor of Lord Vishnu at any cost. Generally, people do not know this or they forget it. Consequently, they sacrifice their original interest in the attainment of Vishnu's favor and engaging in philanthropic activities for bodily comforts. So this is the point that mercy is pleasure is mercy of the Lord. So maybe we will take that topic in our further discussions. We will come back to this. So at least remember this for today, that any happiness we are getting. See, I will give example, like whatever we are getting, we are able to breathe, we are able to get sunlight, we are able to get water. It's all mercy of Lord. He is providing it. Even this body is Lord's mercy. We are given some body with which not everybody may like their body. They are attached to the body, but they are not liking the shape it is. They want it to be in a better shape. But still they are attached to it. That is mercy of Lord only, right? So nothing belongs to us, not even body belongs to us, what to speak of other things. So when Maharaj Bharata wanted to enter the forest to collect kusha grass, flowers, wood, leaves, fruits, flowers, water, he would fear the dogs, jackals, tigers and ferocious animals might kill the deer. He would therefore always take deer with him when entering the forest. Now what mistake he is doing? Na? He is taking the role of Ishvara. So that is the main mistake. Now, for us, we should not think we are the protector of families. Without us also it will run. Because ultimately it is Krishna who protects. So Bharat Maharaj, when he is living his kingdom, he is completely aware of this fact. His whole kingdom he is living and coming. He is not thinking who will take care of my wife, children, sons. They should be given some. No, he knows the Lord will take care. Now when it comes to a small deer, how he got attached? Why he is not using that intelligence? Lord will protect. Because that's what Lord wanted us to learn. So how Maharaj Bharat increased the affection for the deer is described here. Even such an exalted personality as Bharat Maharaj, who had attained loving affection for the Supreme Lord, fell down from his position due to his affection for some animal. Consequently, as will be seen, he had to accept the body of a deer in his next life. Since this was the case with Bharat Maharaj, what can we say of those who are not advanced in spiritual life, but who become attached to cats and dogs? Due to their affection for the cats and dogs, they have to take the same bodily form in the next life. Unless they clearly increase their affection and love for the Supreme Lord, unless we increase our faith in the Supreme Lord, we shall be attracted to many other things. That is the case of our material bondage. And this is happening for every moment, for everyone. There is attachment to. See, the point is, we may say, I am not like people who are in hippies and all, that time, proper time. And now also, people say we are not attached with our family, with our parents, and they don't want to even marry also, they are just staying with somebody. So it looks like great detachment, right? But that is not detachment, that is the animalistic propensity. So it should be that you take care of it but not attached to it. You are responsible but not attached. So we have three stages here. One is, gross materialistic. There we enjoy without responsibility. And then there is the dharmic life. We enjoy, responsible, but attached. When it comes to spiritual life, there is enjoyment, responsibility, but no attachment. So, how is this possible that there is no attachment? That is possible because here comes the ego factor. Yes, Mataji. We'll take questions anyway time. So you can unmute Mataji. Yes. You can unmute yourself. You're not getting that comment. You are not able to unmute Mataji. Okay, one question is what are pleasure in goodness? So the when we are performing duty, you get pleasure that you have done the thing properly, not with the result, the action only. That is actually like you have served the deities. You have nobody knows that what did you do, but you did it properly and you are feeling satisfied inside. So these are all pleasure in goodness. Where now you attend the class, there is no result in it, but you are happy because you have chanted your rounds, you attended class in the morning, you served the deities, and some sort of peace you'll experience. I have done all my services nicely today. So that is in goodness. It's not result. You did that itself. Any questions, comments? Okay. Prem Latika Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
So, Prabhuji, my question is that, see, when whole family is Krishna conscious, it is very easy to become detached from other material activities. But in a case where the spouse is not cooperative or not ready to take up the procedure wholeheartedly, then it is everyday pain. It's painful to see them, and still we have to become merciful. At that time, it's very difficult to stay strong in our Krishna consciousness. Although we try to perform our sadhana very nicely, chant 16 rounds, doing seva, reading Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavatam, but certainly it is very difficult and painful, Prabhuji. So how to overcome about this? We have to be compassionate to them also. We have to be loving, caring also. And certainly we know that they are not ready to take up this. How to handle this situation?
We should not have expectations, Mataji. Everybody is having their own journey towards Krishna, and they take their time. So now, same thing with our spiritual master is also not expecting so much from us. He is allowing us to grow at our level. So same thing, we have to, somebody who is looking at you spiritually advanced, they are also seeing, okay, Mataji, they encourage you, they say, oh, you are doing nice bhakti. Not that you are doing, means we are in a very high level, but still, whatever level we are, they are encouraging. So every soul has its own journey towards Krishna. Only thing you should be happy that they are not doing any sinful activity. Whatever good they are doing, if you are happy with that, that itself is will make your life peaceful instead of expectations. Because the main problem in relationship is expectations. If you don't expect, you can be very happy. So the point is not because of they are doing wrong or right. It is because of our expectations we are feeling miserable. They are doing whatever they can do. That's all. They will do that only. they never they never told that I will live up to your expectations. We want them to live up to our expectations. But the question we should ask is, who set these expectations? That is, we are setting the expectations.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Prabhu, it becomes very difficult when they ask that I too want to come to Ayodhya for a yatra. And it becomes hard to tell them, oh, you cannot come because you don't chant 16 rounds. Then they question the entire system, entire this movement. Oh, you are doing everything wholeheartedly. Still, they will not allow me to come. It becomes very difficult, Prabhuji.
No, that is they are little sentimental about it. That we should tell them logically only. This is
Hmm.
not the system which we are creating. Because if we allow anybody, then there will be 50,000 people coming for yatra,
Hmm.
which is logically not, means logistically not possible to manage. So that is the reason we have to make some criteria to restrict people. It's not that we want to reduce, but only thing is because it is very difficult to manage such a big number, so we have to be little practical. So we give criteria, like say every anywhere there will be criteria for it, either money or some other qualification, something will be there. Like if you are conducting a seminar, then you have to give a criteria, only this type of people can come for seminar, otherwise anybody and everybody comes, then it is very difficult for us. So it's very practical thing, it's not anything sentimental, you say. It is not that they are against you. They are not against anyone, they are just putting some criteria so that they will be able to manage the crowd, that's all.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anybody else? Okay, so please remember this point whenever, actually, like one, whatever Lord already gives na, we should be happy with it. Like but what happens is we don't remember what Lord gives, and we only complain what Lord did not give. Like one woman was drowning in water, and one somebody saved her, and then instead of being happy, she started complaining, why you did not save my cap. So now same thing we do with the Lord also. Lord is already giving us so much. Instead of being grateful for Lord what Lord gave, we start complaining that, Arey, why you did not do this to me, why you did not do this to me. So it happens like that. So we just have something in chat box. I'll just, so there is a question that even though we have lot of free time, naturally we don't have tendency to do Krishna conscious reading activities, or listen to Krishna Katha all the time. I can chant 16 rounds, read for 30 minutes to 1 hour, listen every day for 2 hours, but not more than that. After this activity, I still have time and I tend to watch YouTube, Instagram, or read some news or gossip with friends and relatives. But when will I completely engage in Krishna's service naturally? We may not be able to do full Krishna conscious all the time. That's why at least we should take some responsibility for Krishna. Take some responsibility of serving Krishna, some project. That's actually why Prabhupada has to give all the projects. It's actually to whole day to be Krishna conscious is difficult. Means core Krishna conscious activity like hearing, reading, chanting. That is difficult for our mind now. It will not take. It will start reveling. So that is the reason we need to have some responsibilities uh, where we can get absorbed in that service, whatever of our nature, say preaching or some management or some organizing festivals or something, or helping, assisting others in their preaching, or whatever way we can get engaged in some Krishna service. So that is the greatest challenge for managers, is to give opportunity for devotees to engage in Krishna service. So in that way, once they get an opportunity to engage in Krishna service, then either deities or something. So that is actually the mercy. So then we will be able to, what do you say? We will be able to then focus on holy name. Then slowly our absorption in Krishna increases, and then our capacity to directly engage in Krishna service will also increase. That is the way. So another question is how to be detached. Yeah, detachment comes naturally when we do bhakti. So detachment we don't separately practice like in Jnana Marga. Our detachment is attachment to Krishna, and Krishna will make us detached to this world. So we have to focus on all activities which will help us to get attached to Krishna. So that is the point. So any other questions, comments? Okay, we have some questions. Is Shakti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am. Hare Krishna.
I'm audible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Prabhuji, so when we hear classes, we no, I do lot of activities, either just arranging the home or cooking or do something, or sometime in the meanwhile also I try to search something. I order something or something to do. Is it okay to multitask, or we have to sit attentively here, Prabhuji? Because it becomes my core habit.
Actually, we will not get the full benefit if we are not attentively hearing. We may get very light benefit because we will not be able to remember or even understand and assimilate that content very much if we are not sitting and hearing. Because what happens, we feel that, oh, I already know this point actually, and then it will not sink into our consciousness. We feel, I already know this, yeah, good, but we cannot get the full the point which they are explaining, because it is very uh, even for understanding only it took time for me this point. So everybody needs some time to understand that point. So you will get full benefit only when you are, at least some part of the class you should be very sitting and hearing attentively, if not everything. Some class should be we should sit and hear attentively, otherwise we will not get benefited. So advantage in speaking is that I cannot do multitasking and speak, so so that is not possible. But hearing, that also happens to me when we are doing hearing. uh, we may be doing some multitasking, but it will not give much benefit. Some time in our day should be full only for hearing.
Okay. Because if I sit and I love to hear, I love to take notes. I love reading, listening, Prabhuji. But still, if morning we are getting up, doing chanting, then we're hungry, and household chores, cleaning, washing, this, that. So much is packed up, no? So I get frustrated always. Because if morning we wake up and sit for chanting, almost 9:30, 10 o'clock, it'll go like that only. And after that, cooking, everything, then some what we wanted to do, some service, going out. Throughout the day, I'm frustrated, Prabhu, if I do like that.
Yeah, yeah, but that time you may not do, but other time you have to sit and hear. If whenever after you finish your daily activities, you have to give some time, either you hear the recording or you hear something separately.
Okay,
So
okay.
after completing your morning duties, you can, or your actions, you can do.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji. So I have to have one routine. I have to stick with that routine. So
Yeah.
occasionally I can deviate from that, if some devotees give some service, if I wanted to do something, I have to plan, and within the time limit I have to do.
Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions, comments, chat box? Okay, thank you all very much. So we will not be having our sessions for few days. I apologize. So we will meet. Pros will be there. He will be taking. We will meet. Hare Krishna. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.